recorded, so
You're
the audio,
live.
like somebody's wearing
Yeah, you've
headphones.
been.
Like, when you talk,
been
it'll be on your
recording
side
you
of the
for a
video.
while.
When I talk, it'll be over here.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Blue, you misbehaving monkey, you are in the shot.
All right, and we are live. Welcome back to the show. The co-captains are here. The two captains for the captain's log.
Yes, sir.
Today's captain's log will be. Oh wait, you know
sorry
what?
about
First
that.
of all, let me go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name's Justin Hughes. I'm here with my co-captain,
David Pledger.
and he makes music.
Yes, I do. I try. Now I got a SoundCloud for David Pledger, and also I'm working on a project with a close friend. We're doing basically it's rap lyrics on top of instrumentals, but it's on BandLab, and it's not available yet, so don't worry about that until we tell you about it later.
Can't even get behind the scenes peek.
No.
Got to get a higher security clearance for that. And I am working on art projects. You can catch me on Twitch most of the time. We're gonna drop our links below for what you can listen to and watch.
At the moment, they will become available.
And so we are sailing through pop culture as we mentioned the last episode, and this episode I think we found Canada on
On our map.
on our horizon, on the map. Yes, on the map.
Love the Canadians, eh?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about, eh?
We're taking a port visit in Canada.
I love Canadians. Jim Carrey
Yeah.
and them other Canadian people I love too.
The kids in the hall, you remember?
Oh.
Didn't think
Boy.
of. Yeah.
Boy.
Who else is Canadian?
I am crushing your head. I am crushing your head.
What
Yeah.
other Canadians, huh?
There's that one guy that has the steak knives.
Oh, the hairy guy.
The guy, yeah, he's like, "Argh," and he
Yeah.
likes to go berserk on stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a Napoleon thing
And Napoleon.
because he's
And they stab
short.
himself and oh, I gave it away. And it's more like a snick. It's
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Yep. If you haven't guessed from this point, we're talking about Wolverine. Yes. Yes. We want to I want to go ahead and mention. I just realized being, 30. What am I? 37 right now, I think.
A youngin.
Oh yeah.
I just turned 40.
I just realized that Hulk was originally Hulk's enemy. Did you know that?
I think it was one of his first enemies, yeah.
Yeah,
And he's actually, like, in the newer comics, even, like, here recently, Wolverine talks about, you should let me fight the Hulk because I've got some history with him. I know how to fight him. With his daughter, X-13?
Yes.
Yeah, she was fighting.
Or 23.
23?
I think it's X-23.
Probably. I probably messed that up.
Is it worth a Google?
I don't know. Everything's worth a Google.
Let us know in the comments below.
Don't ask your Facebook page. Just Google it.
No, yeah, don't go to Facebook because the only people there are a bunch of 80-year-olds sharing memes that are older than me.
Right? Got the cat hanging from a limb. Keep trying.
Hang in there.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Wolverine. Logan.
When did you first notice? When did you first start reading about Logan, Wolverine?
Well, obviously, Wolverine's been in the thick of the comic book, genre for the longest. And if it wasn't for just seeing him on random comic books in random places, I think I got my first heavy exposure to Wolverine in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah.
The video game. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like, Berserker Barrage!
That game was so amazing. I think that was the game where I got introduced to a lot of less, in my opinion, lesser known heroes. Like I didn't know a whole lot about Iron Man at the time.
Yeah, Iron Man wasn't as cool until like I don't want to say like right when his movies came out, but before that Iron Man was kind of clunky, a clunky character.
Yeah, he had like that little. His costume more resembled the Ironmonger from the movie.
Yeah, bulkier, more like not as.
Yeah, I mean it still had the same color, but
I like Iron Man. I'm not to go too far in the Iron Man direction, but they've really done a lot of character building for Iron Man in the past 15 years.
Robert Downey Jr. shot new life.
He is Iron Man.
He really is.
He embodied Ian Stark. He is Tony Stark in my eyes. Like that's kind of like Hugh Jackman with Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman, yes. That was a flawless turnaround. I like that.
I did not mean to. It was just.
Yeah, it was just natural.
And I'm not really excited about seeing a new person playing Wolverine.
Yeah.
But,
when do you think that will be? Like,
I think they're gonna try to introduce the mutants into the MCU here eventually. It might take 4 or 5 years, but I think they're gonna. The multiverse thing is gonna be popping up, and then they might use that to combine like, because I've heard like with some of the what is it? There's been a lot of recasting and like swap casting between like Marvel and DC and stuff like that. But Marvel, what was it? Was it Quicksilver in the WandaVision?
Mm-hmm.
He got recast as the guy who played him in the movie.
That was the biggest boner. Like,
hey,
what now? Forever, instead of saying red herring, I can say you bonered that. That's the new word for red herring, because that was a complete red herring. I thought, like, for sure this guy.
He's one of my favorite Quicksilvers, though. The guy that played him that they swapped over to the show. I liked him in there.
Now, isn't there a story in the X-Men where Wolverine is their parents? And somehow they are like Game of Thrones style, like into each other. I think the Ultimate Universe.
And who got into each other?
Wanda and Quicksilver.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
Isn't
the
Ultimate Universe?
Yeah, where they're kind of like creepy, almost kind of incestuous.
Now, if anyone asks me, I'm gonna say the biggest mistake that Marvel ever made was the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what they were doing, what they were trying to do was like make it like comics, like basically like as like real life, like as it would happen in this reality kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was weird. Wasn't that the one where they had Was that the one where they had that Ulysses guy who could tell the future? No. That was Civil War. I can't remember.
I think Ulysses was in Civil War. Yeah.
He could see the future, and then Captain Marvel, she was all like her and Tony Stark were beefing.
But the great thing about comics, and now I've seen that concept move over to other media, which is when you write yourself into a corner.
Use time travel.
Use either time travel or alternate dimension.
Yep.
That way we can fix everything, put a new gloss on it.
Speaking of time travel, one of my favorite Wolverine involvements in a comic, I think it was, I believe it was Ultron. It was like Age of Ultron, and they went back and, they were going to go, because Ultron's in the future.
Yeah.
And he's using Vision as like his conduit, his window to the now, and they're like, we're gonna use Doctor Doom's time platform, and we're gonna go into the future. We're gonna get Ultron.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Like it's not gonna happen. But Wolverine's like, yeah, I'm going with you. But then him and Susan. But yeah,
Him and Susan Storm.
him and Susan Storm. Well, he decides he's gonna go back in time and kill Hank Pym, because he's the maker of Ultron. He's like, if I just go back in time and kill him, this will never happen. And he goes back in time, and then he does kill him.
Okay.
And then it messes everything up, and he goes into the future and realizes that it messed everything up, because like he went to a new future where Tony Stark's like this evil cyborg dude, and they had to fight like some Kree Skrull War stuff. I think it's complicated. Yeah. But then Wolverine goes back in time to stop himself from killing him. So it's like you really double back in time in it, and it creates this thing, and eventually in the comic book I think that like he breaks time. Like time is like a rubber band. Yeah. You can only stretch it so many times, and like he messes it up, and then like I don't know. You should go read the comic and figure out what happens. But. And
I feel like in that's not the first time Wolverine's messed with time travel. I don't know about the comics. I know in the animated series, which is how I first found out about Wolverine, but in the animated series and in the movie, well, the animated series is different because it was
dope.
It was dope.
Dope AF.
But it was Bishop who went back in time to tell everybody.
Yeah.
But in the movie, Bishop wasn't introduced, so they had to use Wolverine, which still to this day, one of my favorite Wolverine movies out there, because it has it brings everything all together. And if it wasn't for the fact that they weren't going to do that Phoenix movie so close to that, it would have fixed everything. It brought the old cast into the new cast.
That one had me messed up. Like, you got to really watch that movie. Yeah. Otherwise, you're like, what is going on? But that's like an alternate universe kind of thing, wasn't it? It wasn't like
he did kind of create like an alternate universe and justify saying, yes, the old cast is valid, is canon, and this new cast is also canon. He was the bridge, the gateway between the two worlds.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Slightly off subject, the whole multiverse thing would very easily make you be able to pull every single bit of media and slap it together.
Yes. I agree.
Do you remember when Wolverine didn't have a nose?
Yeah. Remember when he looked like just an animal? More like
a Wolverine.
Yeah. And I was all like, okay, so during that time, Marvel made some very interesting design choices, and it really I feel like for me it messed with what was already going on, because when you have two beasts on the team, I mean, like one of them, the hair grows down like this.
You mean like
the
Wolverine
other one
being a beast and the
grows,
beast being a
beast? Yes. One of them's blue.
Poor beast.
The other one's a regular.
Poor beast. We're gonna have to talk about him on a different episode.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Hank McCoy.
He was a real McCoy.
But I think the Beast and Wolverine were friends. I think they were pretty close.
Yeah, and it's like even though he is very brash and very abrasive, hard to be around, he does have a good deal of reliable friends.
You want him in your corner, really, because if you're on the good side, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Unless he needs to stab you for some reason.
You know, I mean, going from being the first being a villain of the Hulk in the beginning, to being a mainstay in the X-Men, to doing his own thing. I mean, like, he's had a pretty good career.
Oh yeah, he's doing good. Speaking of Bruce Banner and the Hulk, did you see that one where I think it was Old Man Logan, where he had a family out in the desert, and Mysterio stuck him with the old okey doke, made him think everybody was the bad guy, and he killed all the X-Men. And then he was just like, nope, never gonna bring these out again. And then he's in the future and he's got a family and stuff. And then like the Hulk had like incestuous kids that were like crazy mutants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then it gets. I think the Hulk's family like Wolverine goes off to do something to get some money to pay the rent, so the Hulk won't kill his family. And the Hulk is just like, I got bored, so I killed your family anyway. So he comes home and he's just like, shing, 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 shing.
Got bored.
Toss salad.
I got bored, so I had to decide on homicide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was busted. Bruce Banner was like twisted in that.
I could have started my own podcast, but why not just start with murder?
All right.
We'll put murder at the top of the list. You know,
Let it trickle down into more murder, accidental homicides.
I will say that due to all that ultra dark stuff with the inbreeding Hulk family, that makes me like the movie Logan just a little bit more better than the comic. Better. No. More than the comic story.
Well, I guess you gotta get a little more edgier when you're reading to draw people in.
Yeah.
When you got like a decent, screenplay and actors, and you don't have to go to the gamma incest.
And I feel like gamma incest. That sounds like...
That's like worse than regular incest.
Yeah.
I don't know, personally.
Which I'm sure... You could probably find that on porn.
There's a niche for that somewhere.
Yeah, someone's asking for that. But, what I liked about the movie, which to me, that makes the movie of Logan my second favorite Wolverine and third favorite X-Men movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, you had Patrick Stewart in the last time that he was going to be playing Professor Xavier. No one will ever be as good
as Patrick Stewart
when it comes to Professor Xavier. That's who you saw on those 90s cartoons. That's who you see today.
Exactly.
That's who you'll see 40 years from now. Patrick Stewart. He'll probably be long gone, but
we'll always remember him as. You get to these comic book characters that get typecast by brilliant, passionate actors, and you can't let them go. You can't let them go. Speaking of passionate actors that are directly related to Wolverine, the guy that plays Magneto, the new one, I like him. I like the old guy.
Oh yeah,
but I love the new guy that I don't know his name, but Magneto at one point. Speaking of Wolverine, tore all the metal out of this man's body.
Yes, the bone claw era.
The old naughty, weird looking bone claw Wolverine. And that's got to hurt so much more coming out of the skin than just slick blades. You know what I'm saying? It's naughty, blah, 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 coming out your man.
I feel like it had to be both a burden and a good thing for him for a moment, because Wolverine should not be able to swim.
That's true.
He should not. Yeah.
But you'd think that drowning him would kill him. I've seen that in the comic book too. There's one where his son Dakin, the Japanese son.
Yeah, doesn't he have a dozen children in the comics?
It's 2 or 3. There's Dakin, and then there's
maybe
James Howard or something like that. There's a young one that kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
And then he's got the daughters. So he's probably got 4 or 5, 6, 7. He was busy.
Yes.
Wolverine actually getting into weird, awkward things. There's a girl named Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah, is she related to him?
No, but they had relations with each other when she was not of age.
Oh no!
And that was on older comic books, and they don't talk about it now.
Yeah,
but
I feel
you gotta watch Hide Your Wife, Hide Your Kids.
Was it the 90s? Was it the 90s comics that he did that? Because I feel like that had to been during that era of let's see how edgy we can
get. Yeah, it was the 90s. It was around that time.
Yeah.
It was there's, we'll talk about it on another thing, but I've read some comics from the 90s that are just,
Yeah, how did you
how did you get away with that? Who had it on their desk and they were like, yo, I'll print it.
It's like everything from the point that when did that committee or whatever where they didn't allow any violence or anything in
The Comics Authority or the Comics Code Authority?
Yes, the Comics Code Authority. It's like they turned it into a rubber band and they pulled it back and they were all like, okay, as soon as we get out of here and we're no longer a thing, do whatever you want. And that's what they did. They were all like, okay, we're going to write the worst
I think that
and best stuff, like...
yeah, kind of. It's kind of like cult, kind of like
Yeah.
the bad stuff. It was like that. That was the thing that the comic bust was in the 90s, and it was like there was no money in the comic book industry, so there was a lot of hot garbage that came out. But it was like some of it was good.
Yes.
Some of it was good.
I know we mentioned in the last episode about, or was it this for Todd McFarlane? I think it was last.
Yeah, it was.
His prime was during that comic bust hit. Like everyone wanted these.
They wanted Spawn. They wanted
$1 million comic book #1s, but
and
like,
toys.
Yeah.
The Spawn toys were like.
But then when they realized that fell through and that bust happened, like he switched over to make Spawn, and like I could not imagine how scary of a time that would be to move away from Marvel
Oh, yeah.
and to start your own thing. Yeah,
Well, he had something going on. What was he? I think Todd McFarlane had the thing with like baseball cards.
yeah, and I think it was toys. He started his action figures.
Oh, he was taking that. I think he wrote comics to sell toys. Well, which most companies do.
Yeah,
But
but Marvel started making comics just to sell comics. Like I don't think.
Stan Lee, man.
Yeah, I think that the issues of Captain America were really propaganda to get people amped for the World War II.
Oh yeah.
Because that came out around that time, so
Well, yeah, they were using comics as propaganda.
Yeah.
It's
like
push the war effort.
Stan Lee was in the army as a writer during the Second World War. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah. That's how he got his start writing and developing all this stuff and
Writing comics for the war newspapers and stuff.
yeah. And now we have these universes full of Wolverines having sex with underage squirrels.
Wow. Wolverine, man, he was kind of chunky. His history was chunky. Like there was a whole thing about he couldn't remember nothing, and they kept it vague in the comics
Yeah.
too. It was hard to follow. And now this, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the House of M. When Wanda reset everything, he got all his memories back,
Yeah.
and he just started. Like the world was like, oh shit, because like so many people did so much bad stuff. Wolverine wiped his memories, used his weapon and stuff like that, and then like he had it all back, so it was like, all right, time to punch all y'all's tickets.
Yeah.
But he did. I think he Bucky Barnes like murdered his wife. That was retconned at one point. But I think Bucky Barnes like murdered Wolverine's wife.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was busy for a while there in the comics.
He killed a lot of people. Apparently, didn't in the movies Tony Stark's
Yeah, he
parents
killed
got murdered?
Tony Stark's parents. That I wonder how many heroes we have, solo heroes we have, where they still have all their living adult relatives. Like
You can't be a superhero with family
that
around.
someone in your family's gotta go.
Oof.
Gotta go.
Like poor Green Arrow
Yeah.
and in the end games, man. That was sad. That hurt my feelings. I was like, what? They were having a picnic. He's tossing the arrow around.
What? Endgame?
What was it? Am I talking about the wrong guy? Green Arrow? No.
Are you talking about Hawkeye?
Yes. Same guy.
Same guy, but different comic universe.
Different reality. He's good in the ring and shoots arrows.
Well, he's actually wears purple.
Alright, that's right. So I'm totally wrong on this one.
Yeah. Feel free to
Give me all
correct him
comments.
in the comments below. You know. I was like, oh my goodness.
What are you talking about?
That would be. Those were fun. The crossovers though.
What's that?
The comic crossover.
Oh, between Marvel and DC?
Yeah, I think that was it before they started getting edgy?
I think it was right before they started getting edgy. It was weird. There was like one character that like was the reason why the universes were connected, and they had like Superman fight Hulk, and
there was a combination of Batman and Wolverine called Dark Claw.
was that from the amalgamation?
Yeah, from the amalgamation, and his character, his villain was, you guessed it, Sabretooth
And Joker.
and Joker. And guess what he was called?
What?
Hyena.
Oh.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if they even just do that around to a couple people. This one dude, he was like, "Hiya."
There's a dog who laughs. He's called a laughing hyena. That's his name.
Was that a courage cowardly dog, right?
Yeah, but the amalgamate. I really wish that like these corporations could really play fast and loose with these crossovers, because they haven't. I don't think they've done another crossover since that time in the early '90s.
I don't think they have either. I've heard rumor that, I mean, it was in the past year or two that DC and Marvel might do another crossover here soon, but
That would be so dope.
it would be so dope. I love that, man. Like, if they just, I know, well, I said nothing to do with it, but I've seen something about a Batman Ninja Turtle crossover.
There's,
that.
I've seen the animated movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Is it any good?
It's so good. I really enjoyed it. I really feel like they didn't give the Ninja Turtles justice, because he was just owning everything.
It's Batman.
He was owning everyone. The only person that gave him any trouble was Shredder.
Was it in the show that was like he already like a part of that universe and like he grew up with the turtles and all that?
I think they got sent to his universe. I think that's how it went. And somehow the Joker finds out that they exist, and somehow finds out that they exist because of the ooze, and then plays around with that.
Wow.
I don't want to get into spoiler, but the plot is that.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's it's one of my favorites, just because it's been a long time since I've seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you know what? I just realized Batman.
Why are we even? Yeah, that's my bad.
No, it's okay. No, because we said the last time that Batman just shows up. He is 6 degrees separation from everything.
I mean, so
that works.
I already brought him up because of the amalgamation.
Yes,
thing, but
yeah, but that works because he did get fused with Wolverine. So that's pretty dope. Yeah, I like that. I like how that happened.
It does happen that way. Next episode, 7 Degrees of Batman. You've already done that in the last one. Every episode's connected with everything.
Yes, everything connects to everything, and if it doesn't, in an alternate reality, it will.
It will. And you can comment about that and let us know how you feel about it.
That's why we are living in the divergent timeline, and
this is true. This is true.
And like, I feel like we are living in the incest gamma radiation family timeline, where it's pretty sad in our reality. So that's why I love watching comics or reading comics and watching these movies. I know we're talking about Wolverine and we covered a lot, but I want to briefly go over a couple villains that I would like to talk briefly about, and then we'll hop back on the Wolverine hype train. But the first is Black Widow. I know we both seen that recently.
Saw it today.
What is your take on the villain on Black Widow?
Well,
spoilers ahead.
There's a couple villains. There's the weird Russian dude who's just a horrible asshole of a person.
Yeah.
And then there's the taskmaster of this universe, which is different than my taskmaster.
Yeah. That's not
my taskmaster.
That's not my culture and heritage.
But no, it's I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was cool how the taskmaster was kind of living up to they were mimicking everything. I think he had like a semblance of Captain America's shield. He was flinging around.
Yeah,
that was pretty dope.
She had like the shield. She had the arrow.
She had all kinds of goodies.
Yeah.
And she was good. She was good. It was just like the origin of her from the movie conflicts with what I know of him. And also there was a lot of personality in the comic books, because he was like in the comic books he did a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And
he was a bit of a brash asshole in the comics, and the girl in the movie was like just this puppet of the old Russian dude.
Yeah.
And I felt like she didn't have any agency, and that really sucks, because like
she wasn't fighting for a reason or a cause. She was just like programmed to do so.
Yeah.
And then when she got like released at the end, you're just like, well, she saved you so you could be normal again, even though I melted half your face.
Yeah. So it feels like Black Widow had a villain absence. Like there wasn't anyone who was like her opposite, and it doesn't always have to be that way, but
her fake upbringing was the bad guy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, and I really thought it was interesting that, like, they went the route of family first in her story, which I didn't think.
The Fast and Furious with Black Widow.
That's what me and my girlfriend said, because my girlfriend is a huge Fast and Furious fan, and she was all like, wow, they really took from, They really took from Fast and Furious's theme of family, because we went and watched that just a couple of weeks before we went to go watch Black Widow.
Dom is now on the Avengers.
It's confirmed.
That would be cool. He'd be a cool Avenger if he could just like be just flipping cars.
I mean,
into the scenery.
I don't know if you watched any of the Fast and Furious from like 4, but they all became superheroes.
Yeah, I'm really not up to date on my Fast and Furious, but I did see that one that was the middle one where it was just The Rock and the Transporter.
Jason Statham
and Dwayne.
Yeah, Shobbs and Hall.
Yeah, and I like that dude. Was it Idris Elba?
Yeah,
He's a good bad guy. I like him as an actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's in that, and he's He's in something I recently just watched. Oh, yes! But we can't get into that because that's so new. I'm fairly sure you probably haven't even got a chance to watch it. Like I said, I'm over here consuming like.
Yeah, I understand. What's the name of it?
The Suicide Squad.
Oh.
Not Suicide Squad.
The new one.
Suicide. Yes.
The new one, which I heard.
I haven't heard a bad thing.
Not a bad thing about it. The first one, like I said, I don't like that last episode. I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker.
No, yeah, and I feel like if they just edited all those scenes out of there, it would have at least made it a little easier to follow along because it was. Even now, like thinking back on that movie, it's hard to remember everything because anytime I remember the plot, it was always diverted to.
Yeah, they jump all over the place.
Yeah, which I mean, it sucks because I feel like it'll never show the kind of abuse that Harley Quinn came from, and like that is like some of the biggest elements of like why people love her so much is.
They kind of touched that in Birds of Prey a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. That was kind of like that. It was like Harley's chick flick.
Yeah.
But.
It was like Harley and then, oh yeah, the Birds of Prey are also in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Margot's a star right now. Everybody loves her. Some Margot Harley.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
she does
much like we said, there is no more after Robert Downey Jr. There is no more Iron Man.
No,
she is the Harley Quinn.
I agree. I totally agree.
But there was another villain that I wanted to touch on before we go into the final villain, which will bring us back around, which is Dr. Doom. I only want to go a little bit into him because I feel like we could do a whole show on him.
Yeah, we are. We're going to do that.
But he is a very elaborate villain who has got layers like a cake or an onion.
Like an onion. Not a parfait.
Yeah.
Short
and
reference.
I feel like none of the movies got him right.
No, not really. I kind of like the very, very first one.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day, and they did the best they could.
Yeah.
But Dr. Doom he's a great bad guy.
Yeah.
He does a lot of damage in the Marvel Universe. There's, what was it? The Beyonder.
Yeah.
The Beyonder came around, and like him and the Molecule Man, like, stuck the Beyonder, who is unfathomably powerful. He can just do whatever. He just creates whatever. Besides Mad Jim Jaspers, it's like he was unreal. He's from the universe beyond.
Yeah.
And he could just change whatever, like whatever.
Is he related to Reed Richards?
The Beyonder?
Yeah.
No, Beyonder's from just like a completely different universe. And who's related to Reed Richards is baffling too, because he's got so many.
Yeah, because I think one of the most recent little YouTube shows that I watched, those top 10s, they mentioned that Kang is like a great-great-grandson of Reed Richards or something in the 31st century.
I've heard something like that. I think.
Or the original Kang? I don't know.
A variant of Kang is related. Like at one point, I think I saw something where like Susan. Not Susan. Was it Susan? Yeah, it was Susan. Like there's a version of Kang that's her.
Oh wow.
I think so. I think I've seen something where like takes off the helmet and it's her. I'm probably taking something out of context. But the Kang is ridiculous and it's hard to get anything. Kang is pretty much going to be the new one of the big baddies in the MCU, I think.
That's what I keep hearing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's played by, I don't know his name, but he's awesome.
Have you seen Lovecraft Country?
That guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That show's crazy.
I haven't actually watched that. I need to watch it.
It's a really good show, but I know this whole villain thing is taking up some time, so we're going to go back to the villain that I wanted to talk about, which is the antithesis, the best rogue that Wolverine has, which is Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Like he is. I've seen comics where he's smashed up a lot of X-Men.
Oh, 90 Sabretooth?
Yeah.
Kill everybody and be home in time for cornflakes.
He's smashing everybody.
He was ruthless, especially back in the 90s. He's got like...
Yeah.
Nowadays, he's kind of like... Well, not really. Nowadays, he's still Sabretooth, but...
Yeah.
I don't think he's changed much at all over the years. He's just been a savage
Always
killer.
been ruthless.
Yeah. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like he's out to kill you.
Yeah. And I liked how the 90s kind of, because like the 90s animated show really delved into a lot of the more adult aspects of the X-Men, and especially when it came to their twisted, rivalry since way back when they were younger.
Oh yeah. Like
And
I think I've seen in like I think it was an origin of Wolverines and like I think before they were older or anything like that, like what's his name? Sabretooth, his real name is I can't remember. But he was like when they were real younger, like Sabretooth was just like this hunter dude.
Yeah.
Just working for somebody and was like helping. I don't think it was Wolverine either. I think it was just rounding some people up, and Wolverine was in the vicinity while it was happening. But they've hated each other for a long time. It's like a brother rivalry kind of thing.
Yeah. What is your favorite Wolverine story?
My favorite Wolverine story is probably an X-Force story.
Okay.
And it was Wolverine he basically made a crew of Archangel, Deadpool, Phantom X, and Psylocke, and they were I think Apocalypse had been reborn into a child, and they were going to mutilate him. And
as you do when you have to fix timelines, you go back and kill the evildoers as their defenseless children.
you got to get him in the crib. That's horrible. But no, it was good. It was like Wolverine. It was just cool. Him and like the squad that he had was.
Yeah.
They were out there just like fighting the Horsemen of Apocalypse, and it's complex.
Yeah.
But it's a good comic book, and there's also videos out there. If you don't have time to read the comic book, just look up X-Force.
Yeah. Okay. Is that also your recommendation for the day?
What's that about? Just in general? Yeah, I would recommend that you go and read the X-Force. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, weren't they teammates at one point?
I think there's still an X-Force.
Yeah.
Like they're just recently there was an X-Force.
But like
it just has
Wolverine
different people on it.
and Sabretooth, at one point, weren't they in a team together? Like
I believe they were.
Canadian Special Forces, or
I think there was a team where they were together.
yeah.
Honestly, I can't recall right offhand.
And okay, well, I think my recommendation today would be the show Invincible or the comic Invincible.
Great comic and great show.
It's like if Superman or Goku, I mean, because like Superman and Goku, they're super similar. But if they remembered what they were supposed to do, because even the Kryptonians, they were like a colonizing species, like an alien race that was going to different. Like, it just so happens, oh wait, our planet blew up. because that's how some were able to make it back to Earth to find Kal-El and like throw hands like General Zod. I mean, obviously, I don't know if the movie is much different than the comic origin.
I love General Zod, the guy that plays him in the new movies.
Yeah, but
that guy's face is another typecast forever. That will be General Zod in my eyes. I would dream about General Zod, and I'll have that guy.
Yes, because that the Man of Steel with Henry Cavill and man, I can't remember his name either. That was the best Superman outside of Superman 2, the one with the older version of General Zod.
Oh yeah.
That as well was my favorite. Those are my two favorite Superman movies.
You talking about the weird skinny the old school General Zod that floated around with the other two people?
Yeah, he's all like, why would you say such things when you know I could kill you? Like, you know. Yeah, but Invincible is like them if they remembered, oh, I'm here to colonize and destroy anyone who stand in my way. So that's pretty dope. But I think that's going to be it for today's episode.
I think so. Fun run, buddy.
Yeah. We'll see you again next episode. This has been Justin Case
and David Pledger,
and we'll catch you next time.
Aye, aye, captains.
Those simple-minded humans, they are not paying attention to the ship nor the camera angles. Fix yourself, please. Subscribe for more, or else.